Another video. You guys just seen the TV bracket and the TV that I put up in my room here, and you noticed all the big holes in the wall. So we got a bunch of holes in the wall over here. It's drywall. We're going to be patching up these drywall holes, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to get them all cleaned up and make it look like drywall again. So let's get to this. As you can see, it looks like somebody shot this thing with a shotgun. But what that is where we was trying to look for the stud. Without the stud finder, it's kind of hard to find the stud. So what we're going to do is we're going to clean this up a little bit. And I'm going to get a knife out here. Now this is going to be a little bit messy, so I got a rag here. I'm just going to lay down on some of this stuff down here. I just put that TV in there, and I'll tell you, when you ever get behind your TV and look at how many wires are back in there and all this electronic stuff? So now, I'm not sure whether this is the right way to do this, but I'm going to show you the way I'm going to do it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a knife and I'm going to cut around each one of these holes. I'm going to make them a little bit bigger, but I'm going to kind of taper them down, just so I don't have that paper sticking up on them. So we don't want no paper sticking up. We're going to go around each one of these. Once I get all this done, I'll get you guys back in here and we'll get some putty on these guys. As you can see, what I did is I just went around each one of the holes and just kind of carved that paper off of there, just so it's not sticking up. The paper is not sticking up anywhere. You want the paper to be as flush as you can get it. Now, I'm going to tell you guys, and I know I'm going to get a lot of comments on this. I don't know if this is the right way to do it. This is what way works for me the best. I'm not a professional at this. I'm just doing it because I need to get it done. Now, I have this is some patch. It's a sheetrock patch and repair compound. You can buy that right at Lowe's or Home Depot or your hardware store. Good little stuff. What I'm going to do is I have a real damp rag here. It's really actually pretty wet. And I'm going to moisten this up a little bit in them holes. Just a little bit. So my putty will stick in there good. Now this will be a couple day process. I'll let this dry because it's going to be a little heavy in them holes. We're going to let it sit up a little bit. Just get you a little putty knife. Get you some putty on there. And we'll start putting it in the holes. Just smashing it down in them holes. Like I said, I'm not sure if this is the right way, but it'll work for me. So I'm sure there's a ton of you carpenters out there that know exactly how to do this and a lot better than I do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on just so I cover the holes. I'm going to scrape the wall. And then we're going to let that dry. And then after that dries, we're going to come back and put another coat on it. And we're going to keep putting coats on it until we got it nice and flush. And then we're going to take a little bit of sandpaper, clean it up, and we'll have a hole-free wall. Okay, it's been a good day. He's been drying. If you notice, they all sunk in. They're deep. They were level. Now they're all sunk in. So I'm just going to get a little bit more of this putty. We're going to do this again. We're going to put a little bit more on here. I'm just basically trying to get them level with the wall. Our last coat, what we'll do is we'll fill them up a little heavier and then we'll sand them off. But right now we just want to get them pretty much level with the wall. Okay, we're going to let that dry for another 24 hours. See how much they sink down in again. Alright, this is our third and final bit of putty we're going to put on here. Now I got a pretty wet rag here. I'm just going to dampen this down. And then we're going to put a good coat on here. And that's going to be all for the putty, and then we're going to start doing our, we're going to sand it down. So let's get some more putty on here. This time we're going to leave it a little bit heavier, just so we barely see our marks in the wall. Just going to do a nice light coat over it. Okay, we're going to let that dry real good, and then we'll come back and sand it off, and hopefully we won't be able to see our marks no more. Alright, our wall's all dried up now, so I went and got me a block of wood, piece of sandpaper. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to fold this sandpaper over on this block of wood, and then we're just going to sand it down till it's nice and smooth. We don't want to take too much off of it. We just want to make it smooth. We'll just work our way right down this wall. Now, once you got all the sanding done, just fill over it and see if you feel any rough edges or any bumps around the edge or anything like that. You'd be able to see. I see a little bump there, but I can't feel it, so I think we're good. So now what I'm going to do is I just got a damp rag here, and I'm going to try to wipe some of the dust off the wall. And then we're going to put a little bit of primer on that, and then we'll have a good solid wall with no holes in it no more. Looks so much better. Okay, we got us a little bit of primer here. We're going to throw some primer on here, and then we'll put a little bit of paint on it. Take a little brush, brush you some primer on there. Now's when you're going to see all the little mess ups. This is a sealer primer, so this will help seal the wall. Well, as you can see, that was a pretty easy little project. It takes a few days to let the, I always let the drywall compound set up real good and dry before I add another layer. That way it doesn't shrink after it all gets in there. You put it all in there and you put it too fast, it may shrink and crack. So I put mine on every day. I put a coat on it. Then we sanded on our last coat, and it looks pretty good. We got some primer on there, but we're going to paint it. But I'm going to paint the whole inside of this thing, because if I just paint that one spot and it's not, the white doesn't match, I'm going to be able to see that one spot. So eventually we'll pull everything out of here and we'll paint the whole background. I'd like to tell everybody thank you for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe or leave me thumbs up, thumbs down, or a comment if you'd like. Till next time.